All right, update on the Ultra 150 motor or engine. So I've started stripping it down, getting close, getting ready to pull the pan off here. So I'll throw a video up pulling this pan off. Kind of the way, there's some different ways of keeping track of your bolts. One way I like to do it is take a piece of cardboard. So as I pull these out, I stick them in a cardboard template, basically in the order they came out. Kind of helps me keep track of it. So I'm sure there's other people that do this, but thought I'd share that. So anyway, I'm gonna throw a video here of I've got this row of bolts all pulled loose. The row in here, I'm gonna take off with or get them broke loose. My impact's not wanting to break them, but you know, to be completely honest, this little Milwaukee 12 volt impact, it's actually really nice for this type of stuff. It could be a little more powerful on some of this stuff, but for the most part, it's been a really good impact, so highly recommend them. But here, I'm going to go ahead and pull some of these 10 mils loose that are on the top side, and then I'll get these bottom ones broke loose. And like everybody else, I cannot find my 10 millimeter 3/8 drive, so I'm using my quarter. It's not like I don't have probably 10 of these 10 mils running around this garage, but for whatever reason, never can find them, so it'll show up eventually. Again, right now I'm kind of leaving all these in place. I'll then put them in a cardboard template. Like I said, this impact on most stuff like this, awesome little impact. Everything on that side. I'm going to continue. There's 10 mils across the bottom as well. Quick look up underneath here and see. Got them all. That looks like everything but these 12 mils that I'll have to break loose. 12 mil here. Go ahead and pull them out the impact. Speaking of my impact, one thing I just did, trying to take those off, it actually broke the end of my shank on my 3/8 bit here. So I'll have to see if I can get that out of it. Anyway, so I'm actually going to flip this over, and honestly, I'm going to see if I can pull this pan up off of here. I believe I've got everything I need off, so we'll see what it does here. Got the motor broke loose here, getting ready to pull the pan off, and we'll see what the damage is on the underside. the motor all pulled apart now. Bearings actually look really good. And the crankcases themselves look really good, so that's a plus. At least it doesn't look like there's any damage on the actual crank casings. So worst case scenario, I get a used crank, throw back in this, and start putting it back together. What I would like to honestly do is keep this crank and actually see if I can pull these pins on the connection rods and just rebuild that portion on this cylinder, because I believe the rest of these feel okay once I get them all cleaned up. This one here, this is what I believe was what I'm calling cylinder 3. It was the cylinder that was open basically to the elements, so super nasty. But again, everything looks pretty decent, so I'm thinking I'm going to be okay. We'll see. Again, worst case, get a used crank off of eBay. So next step will be to pull the pistons off, pull these connection rod or the pins in here out, and then lift the crank up out, clean everything up, really inspect it, see how everything looks. And again, if I can just rebuild this crank and put new connecting rod on this cylinder with new bearings and bushings in there, that's the route I plan to go. So we'll see. Like I said, I'll get this all pulled up and have a better idea of what I'm working with. Overall, pulling this motor really wasn't that bad. Even taking it apart wasn't terrible. So if anybody's out there that's thinking about doing it, it honestly so far has not been that bad. If somebody's just doing a top end, really simple. But even on the bottom side, a lot easier doing a 2-stroke than your a 4-stroke motor where you've got to worry about cams and timing chain and all that good stuff. So again, I'm gonna get this all cleaned up, really inspect what all I'm gonna need, and start that process. So here's the other half of the crankcase. I kind of left this all together. I really haven't flipped this over yet. I need to get a box. So like I said, I can put all these bolts in order so I can kind of remember where they all went. It's a lot easier if you have a box sitting beside when you start putting this back together. You can just pull the bolt, it goes here, 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 and so forth. So once I get a box to put these in, then I'll get this side cleaned up too. Again, here's the rest of the parts. Trying to keep everything for the most part together, and I'll get it all cleaned up, get the reed valves cleaned up on it. Some of that I didn't show. I didn't show pulling the case here off with your pickup and the stator, or stator rectifier, whatever you want to call it, and then pulling off the actual reed valves. But again, I'm going to clean all this stuff up and then get a list of what I need to start the rebuild process. So that's where I'm at right now. Again, if anybody has any questions on any of this, or something I did, if maybe somebody needs something a little more in depth, feel free to ask, or if somebody wants a video of a certain part of it, let me know and I'll try to do my best to help you guys out. Again, feel free to hit that subscribe button and share the videos, and thanks for watching.